My name is Dr. Ioannis Papasotiriou. I am a clinician, I'm a physician practically. I finished medical school in Greece, and then I specialized primarily in human genetics in the University of Zurich. And secondary, I specialized in hematology-oncology in the University Hospital in Halle in Germany. I had 2 master degrees, one in human genetics and the secondary in molecular oncology. My promotion PhD thesis was about the evaluation of altetanib, at that time at least. And then I hold a postdoc thesis with the University of Kiel right now. And this is my background, and from the professional point of view, I am the director of our GCC group. To define what is personalized medicine is actually something very simple. We are not identical. Why should your cancer be identical? Why should all patients should be treated in the same manner, in the same protocol? And it sounds very simple, but actually it's very robustly founded by the scientific evidence. Cancer is a very, very difficult disease because it's genetically unstable. So it means that every time that passes, every second, every cancer cell that exists on a patient creates another one which is not identical with the previous. And this way of growing a tumor differs from patient to patient. So 2 individuals, despite the fact that they suffer from the first primary tumor in the same organ and in the same stage, they have completely different kind of cancer cells which they respond differently on therapeutic interventions. And this makes the things very, very difficult. You cannot apply the same therapy on each individual. So you have to analyze properly the tumor in order to take the proper decision for a single individual. This is what personalized medicine is in oncology. We use an extensive and a comprehensive analytical methods on every level, on analyzing the DNA, genomics, or the expression of DNA, transcriptomics, or even the proteins. And all these analytical methods are summed up in tests, if you would like to. And these tests actually allows the clinicians to know to which therapeutic interventions a specific tumor for a single individual may respond. And at the same time, other analytical methods may provide the necessary information to know whether your treatment is actually responding during and after therapy, and whether the disease is going to return back or relapse somewhere, and what is the actual risk. The tests that they are offered from our GCC group for analyzing the status of the patient, or to make a decision from the clinical standpoint, is actually a process which includes 2 sections. There is a number of tests like the Onconomics platform, Onconomics Plus or Onconomics Extracts, which allows the assessment of conventional or natural products against the cancer cells. And this platform, not methodology, a single methodology only, is actually a very comprehensive method which allows to have a very, very thorough, detailed information about the genomic, transcriptomic, and proteomic status of the cancer for a single individual, and at the end to know how effective a treatment could be against this cancer for a single individual. The other section is actually the following up tools. The methodologies which allow the enumeration or the phenotyping of the disseminated tumor cells, which are closely related with the risk of relapse on a patient. So these methodologies can be used in order to detect how big or low is the risk for a single individual during or after therapy to develop a recurrence and to see metastasis even before it appears macroscopically on a diagnostic method. the value of this work for patients and doctors, and even broader to therapists, to pharmacologists, etc., exists in the fact that the analytical method that the science offers through our testing, and of course you could do that with the similar methods as well, allows to have all the necessary information of the tumor cells on every gene, on every protein. If we consider that the therapies that existed so far reaches only the 2 to 3% of what are called druggable targets, we have another 97% which we don't even reach. So in simple words, the methods offer the capability to take the right decision for the therapies that we have already available, and at the same time it allows us to find new therapeutic targets and create new therapeutic methods for the near or distant future for patients and doctors as well. If someone decides to follow the discovery course, he or she will have the opportunity to actually exponentially grow the understanding of cancer physiology, of cancer biology. Let's be honest, we learn very basic biology when we study medical school or any relevant science. But to deal with cancer, it requires much more deeper knowledge of how the disease is caused, how it grows, how it metastasizes. There are a lot of myths out there, and we need to take them down if we want to have a pragmatical understanding of the disease. So during the discovery course, everyone will have the opportunity to have this deeper understanding with the proper scientific evidence and the proper methodology. So the learning material will allow everyone to properly understand how the disease is progressing and why we're actually failing, and what we could do to improve the outcome. Those who are going to attend the discovery course online, they will have the opportunity to understand why the specific methodologies have been chosen. They will have a very, very good understanding which method suits better in order to avoid mistakes. To be more practical, there is no perfect method, simply because the disease is so complex and you don't have to deal with one entity, so you have to deal with plenty of different kinds of abnormal cells. So this leads to the fact that you need to engage several techniques, and those who are going to attend the course or to follow the online course, they will have the chance to understand why these methodologies have been chosen compared to all this number of methodologies that exist, and what are the pros and cons between each methodology and which is the optimal one. And of course, to understand what kind of improvements we may expect in closer or distant future. The next level training after the discovery course is actually the practical hands-on training, which means that the clinicians, the practitioners and the therapists will be trained how to interpret all these large number of data and information that the methodologies provide in order to make a clinical decision for a single individual. For those who are going to develop an interest of going even further, we have created a master degree program in pharmaceutical technology, which are offered on our facilities, on our lab facilities. And there it's a little bit higher level training on a lab bench work, which anyone that will attend will have not only the knowledge to interpret the test, but practically to see how the test is taking place and have the more detailed information about how the tests are working in the clinical field, but as well how all this information could be used for further development for future therapeutic interventions. Those who are going to reach the point of this offered master degree in pharmaceutical technology, practically they are going to get involved in the drug development process. They are going to assess this 97% of the data that we are not using in clinical practice, and they are going to learn how to use them, how to find new therapeutic targets, and how to create therapeutic agents against these targets. So in few words, they are going to get involved in development of new drugs against this disease. In conclusion, those who are going to attend this course, they will have in the first step the opportunity to have the basic science introduction and be familiar with all the scientific evidence and practices. For those who are going to go the next step of the hands-on training, they are going to be familiar with how to interpret all these analytical methods and all the tests that are offered for personalized medicine or under the concept of liquid biopsy. And those who are looking for going further in the scientific field mainly, for drug development, they will have the chance to, through the master degree program of pharmaceutical technology, to really involved in drug development and practically find new therapies for cancer patients.